Hey guys, it's Slentay. I wanted to give you my thoughts on the recent Default 2 demo that's been released on the Nintendo Switch. So far, I'm really enjoying the game. Just a little history real quick. I've played Bravely Default, Bravely Second, and Octopath, so I have a lot of knowledge coming from those games. I've also played the demos for each of those games as well when they came out originally, so I can do a lot of comparisons as we go through this video. So the demo starts out with a quick introduction of the four main characters. You have Princess Gloria, who's probably going to be taking the place of Agnes to find and awaken the crystals. Then you have Seth, who apparently washed up on the shore and now he needs to translate this book that was given to him by his teacher. Then you have Elvis, who's searching for the asterisk. And then you also have Adele, who is a mercenary that Elvis hired to help him search for the asterisk. So then they find out that there's some activity going on in the ruins to the south, and they head out there. So that's pretty much the very basic setup of this demo. They said that just like the Bravely Default and Bravely Second demos, it's completely separate from the main game, so I'm pretty sure this is not how it's going to be played out in the main game. So that's it for the story. There's nothing really much to talk about. I do like the characters so far. Of course, we don't really know like their backstories or anything. It's just a demo. So now I'm going to talk about the gameplay and things I liked, things I didn't like, and things that they could improve on for the main game. And so far the gameplay is really similar to the previous games. You have your Brave, which you can do multiple times, so you can attack multiple times in a turn, but at the cost of being left open for that same amount of turns. Then you have Default, which is the best defense in the game that'll allow you to save up those BP points, which you can then use to attack multiple times, or which you can use to then like set up and heal. One setup I always have in the Bravely games is have two mages, a all-out character, all-out physical character, and just like an all-around balanced character. And this demo is pretty much perfect for me because it's pretty much the first class you get in the game, and it usually has pretty good abilities for leveling up and for chests. Like in this one, they have a dividing rod skill that you can learn when you reach job class level 3. That's another thing about this game. There's not just experience, but there's also job experience. So you'll only get experience for jobs that you have as the main job. That's another thing. You can have sub-jobs as well. So you can have two different job classes to one character, but you'll only get experience for the job that is your main. So pretty much whatever your character is dressed up as. So like a freelancer, if they look normal, then they'll just get job points for that class. So that's another thing with this demo for me. I went out and got all of the abilities like I was playing the full game. Like it it genuinely felt like I was playing the full game because this demo took me a pretty long time to beat. This is probably the longest demo I've ever played. It took me 4 hours to beat, but I'm getting off track. So yeah, each class has abilities they can learn, and to get these abilities you need job points. And you get job points when you defeat enemies, as well as experience. So the freelance job will have an ability called the divining rod where you can see how many chests are left in the area. And then another one that I also went out of my way to get for every character in this demo was the extra experience. That ability gives you 1.5 more experience, so I made sure to do that for each character and get that freelance ability for everyone so we could level up faster. And I got to level 19 in this demo. Now I'm not sure if that was like just insanely over leveled, because let me tell you, this demo was pretty freaking hard. I don't know what it was. They said that they made the difficulty a little higher than usual, because in the previous demos you were actually able to choose your difficulty. I know I just revisited the Bravely Default demo and they let you pick easy, normal, hard, but in this one they just say they made it, harder than usual. So if this was hard mode, I'd definitely play on hard mode when it releases. I don't think I've ever played any of the Bravely games on hard, so I'm all down for that, because nowadays I'm looking to play most games on the hardest possible difficulty, or at least like the second highest. This demo is definitely going to give you a challenge. I died like 3 or 4 times in this demo because I was just not expecting it to be this hard. It's not insanely hard. It reminds me a lot of the beginning of Dragon Quest VIII and how much of a struggle it is to like get gold coins to buy the next armor that will actually let you have at least a little more defense than you would have. I always liked that about that game, and it was balanced in that game. So I'm wondering how the difficulty is going to spike depending on, you know, how much further you get in the game with all the different jobs and all that. They probably made the leveling a lot faster in the demo, I would imagine. That, and I also had the extra experience on. Might be wondering why I'm leveled that high. It was mainly because I was doing these side quests that they also have in this demo. They have 2 side quests for you to do. The first one was pretty easy. All I have to do is go to the left of the world map and kill some wolves to get some, I think, wolf pelts or something like that. And then the other one is the one that actually took a long time, because you have to fight these snakes and you have to get their venom. The problem is that it's not that they're rare, it's not that the snakes themselves are rare, it's just that the venom is rare. I don't know about you guys, but that took me like probably an hour of my total playtime to just get those 3 venoms. It took me about an hour of my total playtime to just get those venoms. Like, that took me a ridiculously long time. I was like, was there something bugged with this game? Because it took me a while to just get my first one, let alone my second and third. Now you might be saying, why didn't I use the Thief's outfit? Thing is, I wanted to do the side quest before I did the boss, and that's why it took so long. But if I had the Thief's outfit, then of course it'd definitely be 300 times shorter than that. So I got really over leveled because of that, and enemies in the dungeon that you play in this started running away from me. That's how over leveled I was. But the boss still put up a challenge, surprisingly. I thought I was gonna steamroll him. You fight a thief, just like in the Bravely Default demo. You fight the thief class, and you get the thief class for beating him. Now, this fight was pretty cool because I imagine in the full game you're actually going to have access to these special moves, and that's another thing, special moves. Access to 1 special move in this demo. So, I'm not sure if you're going to have all 4 in the main game when you actually fight this guy. In the full game, he had a lot of health, and I really liked the fight because it was like a tug-of-war battle, because a lot of times when you attack, he would actually get health back from the amount that he just dealt to you. So it's kind of like you have to manage his health, then you have to keep your defenses up, then you have to heal yourself, then you have to build up your braves, and it was an awesome fight. I really like the environment they had it in, and it was pretty satisfying to actually beat the demo to end off the demo with that. I don't know what it is about Bravely Default for me, because you know, games like Xenoblade, you know, they're addicting, and I can explain why they're addicting, but Bravely Default and Second and Octopath even, they just have this like flow to them. I don't know how to explain it. The whole braving and defaulting combat systems is really addicting, and they also brought back the speed up function, and I was honestly kind of worried that they weren't going to have that in there because this is a new system and there's a lot more to process, but they kept the environments and everything pretty similar to Bravely Default and Bravely Second, along with the things that they learned from Octopath. So performance-wise, it's solid. There's one problem I had with it though. It's not really due to performance. It's more so there's this weird motion blur whenever I went into the top building in the town. It just kind of made the game look kind of unfinished and like one of those Ocarina of Time Unreal Engine videos. Hopefully I can have footage of that running right now, because I personally hate motion blur. I hate it so much. I don't know why developers do it. Like I understand why, because performance, to like cover up the fact that it's not running at 60, but I just rather have it not be there because it just gives me a headache. Of course, this motion blur isn't nearly as severe, but I just hope that doesn't become like a regular thing throughout the game. The dungeon itself was really short. There isn't really anything much to talk about. There's no puzzles or anything. That's one aspect of the Bravely games I feel like could really be improved on, is having more defined dungeons, because in the previous games they weren't really that memorable because they all just kind of, they didn't look the same, but they all kind of had the same type of design to them. So I'm hoping in this game they improve on the dungeon design, especially regarding, you know, adding some puzzles, adding more to do than just combat. The open world was actually pretty huge. I thought they were going to have like invisible walls and stuff to block you from going to certain areas, but to to make you like awkwardly walk back because it's a demo and you can't go out there, but it's actually pretty huge, and there's a lot of chests out there that you can get. And then I highly recommend, if you play this demo, definitely search out those chests because there's actually a lot of really good stuff in there. See, that's the thing, I'm talking like this is the main game, but this is the demo. Like, it took me so long to beat this demo. I cannot stress how long it took to beat this demo. Like, that's the thing though, it was addicting, it was fun. Maybe it's because I've been highly anticipating this game, I'm not sure, but it looks to be pretty good overall. All the characters seem pretty cool. One thing about Gloria is that I just hope she doesn't become like so uptight, I guess, as Agnes was, because one of my least favorite things about Bravely Default, the original, was that for me, Tiz and Agnes weren't even as close to as cool or interesting as Ring a Bell and Idia. So I'm hoping they develop all four of them and kind of like cross their paths and cross their development as well. So again, just a demo. I'm just really excited for this game. I've been waiting on Bravely Third, and I was hoping it was gonna be Bravely Third, but it wasn't. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they'll tie this in with Bravely Default and Bravely Second. Who knows? So now the last part of this video, I'm going to discuss some things I would like to be changed, some problems I have with the game that I haven't mentioned yet. So when there's dialogue, you press the A button, right? This is kind of hard to explain, but you press the A button, and then you can't press the A button, but you have to like wait until it says you can. That really annoyed the heck out of me. People who play the demo might know what I'm talking about. You press A and the dialogue goes down, but then like there's a little arrow on the bottom right when you can then actually skip it. I'd like it for just, you know, if you just press A, then press A again to go to the next set of dialogue, because that was really annoying. But again, pretty hard to explain on that one. Movement is very different from the other games this company has made. Again, this is another one of those things that's kind of hard to explain. I'll try to have some footage of the movement to try to portray to you what I'm talking about. When you're moving, you don't go up immediately. You kind of have this this interval of going up. I guess it's more, realistic, but I don't know. I don't know, it just feels kind of sluggish to me. One thing I can say about it as to why they made it like that is that when you're running with enemies on the field, maybe they made it so you can only turn around with that animation to prevent you from being able to easily outrun the enemies. That's the only reason though. I'd rather it just be more like the originals movement, where when you go back, you immediately go back. But I guess that's another thing, is that in the originals you didn't have a run button. That, and also the enemies weren't on the field, because in those games the enemies were random. And that was another cool thing about those games though, is that they were random, but there was a slider that you could use to impact the amount of encounters you had. So if you wanted to go into a dungeon and have absolutely no encounters, you could do that. Or if you wanted to go into an area and have double the encounters, you could do that as well. Another thing that Bravely Second added was the ability to beat enemies and then combo chain those enemies. You can chain those encounters to get even more experience without having to, run around and get more experience. I can see where they're coming from on the movement part. So now in this game, the enemies are on screen, and of course, like I said before, if you're high enough level, the enemies will actually run away from you, just like a game like Earthbound. Getting back to combat, one thing I'd like to do, just like the originals, is to press L to default. You can press R to brave, but I'm not sure why you can't press L to default. Another thing is that when you press brave, there's no way to like cancel out the additional braves you had if you don't want to do those braves. So you have to like back out and re-brave in order to do the actions that you actually want to do, or in order to do the amount of actions that you want to do. So that was kind of annoying. I like how the characters are in the town, but I'm wondering how that affects party chat. I'm wondering if the characters are in the town now and you can actually walk up and talk to them. I'm wondering if that will impact party chat. I am kind of disappointed that we don't have voice acted party chats by now. I feel like that should be a thing. Another thing I liked was, at least the wolf enemies, they had an ability that let them counter physical attacks. Now, that is something that is very Shin Megami Tensei like, where they will have counters to potential spamming of certain moves. I'd like to see actually more of that. The characters actually say things when they're attacking now. At first I thought that was the most annoying thing in the world, but playing it more and more, it kind of has that Xenoblade feel where it's just kind of a thing that they do, and it adds more personality to the characters. There was also some weird transition issues with the camera. Like, the game would be going too fast for itself, so it kind of had the camera in this weird position. I'll try to have footage of that as well in this. I don't know if that was a bug or if the game was just going too fast for itself. Again, a lot of these things, no, all of these things I'll definitely be addressing in the survey they give out. For those who know, there's going to be a survey for everyone that played the demo, and you can give them their feedback, and I really like that. I feel like that should be a standard, to be quite honest, because these games, they come out with high expectations, but we have to leave it to them to see if they, know what they're doing. And I think giving developers advice from actual gamers and people that love their games is the perfect way to just get feedback. As I'm recording this, I just realized that there's actually another side quest I haven't done yet. That's insane how this demo has that many side quests and that much stuff in it for just a demo. So now I've done everything in this demo. That sandworm was really hard. And that fight went down to the wire too. Like the last hit. There's an extra boss you can do in this demo called the Sandworm. And that's for side quest 3, and you find it at the end after you beat the thief boss. I said this demo was hard already, but now after playing that, yeah. This demo really puts you to the test for what the main game will be. Like I said, I don't know if this is hard mode. It probably is, based on how hard it is and how much HP he had. He had like 50,000 plus HP. And I think the thief guy only had like 34,000 or something like that. And I hope the difficulty stays this consistent in the main game. Honestly, want to know like what exact difficulty this is, because if this is hard mode, I'll probably play it on hard. Like, I can't believe I had to grind in a demo. Like, I had to switch my whole strategy even. I had to get the thief job on somebody as well, because that class has some really good abilities for that boss. In this demo, you're only allowed to use one special, so you really have to take advantage of it, especially in the bosses. And let me tell you, there's really nothing like doing everything you possibly can before the character's theme is done, because you get buffs as well when you use a special attack, and they only last until the character's theme is over, because when you use a special, it plays the character's theme. And I just really like the rush that you get from trying to get in every single attack you possibly can. That is awesome. The music is an interesting part of this game for me, because Bravely Second was my game of the year 2016, and I thought it was better than Bravely Default in every single way except for the music. And for this game, they actually got the guy that did the first game's music to do this game, and it really shows, because I enjoyed like every single piece of music in this demo. I am really curious to how they're going to make up for not having Street Pass functionality this time around. I'm also wondering if they're going to do the whole village restoration thing again. I'd imagine they have brand new things to make up for not having those. But yeah, that's my impressions of Bravely Default 2. If you played the demo, let me know what you guys think. That's it from me. See you guys next time.
It's my time to shine! May the earth engulf! Let's keep it up!